What's up, guys? Welcome to yet another episode of The Financial Conversation. I am your host, Devon Harris, a.k.a. I Got the Keys. Today, we have yet another special guest, my brother, Doniel Fitzgerald. He is a tax and credit business coach. Doniel, nice to see you again, brother.
Well, good to have me, man. Nice to see you as well, brother.
Yes, sir. So today, I just wanted to, sort of induce this particular conversation regarding tax and business credit. I know you are huge with both of these particular niches. So first and foremost, Doniel, please explain a little bit about yourself, brother.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So again, my name is Doniel Fitzgerald Lovely. I know Fitzgerald is on my middle name, so I just wanted to put that out there. My last name is Lovely. But I've been in the financial space for about 7 years now, right? Started off, my background is in IT and technology, so I'm very familiar with programs and systems and things like that and how it works. And I actually was able to take that and move into the financial services industry because when I first was in the tech world, I was contracting, right? I was contracting out with companies, and every 6 months or so, they would ship my position overseas, or they would have in the contract. It was just something going on. So I wanted to be able to take a step and own my own stuff, right? Be able to control my own income. Don't have to worry about jumping from contract to contract, even though I liked it because it gave me more flexibility. But I was like, I need to have something sustainable and something predictable where that I can help more people. I can actually, control how much I can make, and also have the freedom to be able to learn a lot more, man, about stuff that we wasn't taught in high school and in college and things like that, right? So, for me, I went to 4-year college, non-traditional college like DeVry. So I got my bachelor's degree, but it was more for the IT technology stuff. But again, it actually gives me into different doors that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get into. But fast forward, I actually started the tax and accounting through a franchise and learned a lot about stuff. Like I said, I came in had no idea what taxes is. I'm not an accountant. I'm not all these things, but I was able to learn a business because somebody told me, he was like, why do you think H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, all these different companies, they only open 4 or 5 months out of the year, and they multi-billion-dollar companies? And I was like, wow. It was like, but they only open 4 or 5 months out of the year. Like, why is that, right? So I was like, okay, well, what is it? You know what I'm saying? So I started looking at it, and I'm like, wow, I can do this. I can help people. I can do this. I can educate myself on this. So now I ain't have to do all these other things. And then was able to jump full force in it, man, and took some bumps on the road. I remember, man, not even having money to market. Oh, wow. I'm asking moms to help me with signs. You're like, we out at 6 o'clock in the morning or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning putting your bandit signs in the yard and
in
the middle of the street. So how we buy housing signs. So we were doing the same thing with the taxes, right? We flooding cities. Like I brought the whole thing to Memphis, where I'm from, brought it back there, flooded the city out. Now everybody copying what I was doing and like, what, what I'm saying? We're like, what is this, right? Phone ringing off. So I got to a point where I didn't have enough help, and I'm like stressed out. I'm doing all this stuff myself. I'm answering the phones. I'm doing all kind of stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like I didn't know what I was doing, right? I'm just trying to figure out how to hire somebody. He didn't have a way. I got to pick him up to get him to work, right? And he didn't have no money. I couldn't pay him because ain't nobody taxi got funded, right? So we're trying to do it.
That sort of shows that, a lot of us that sort of take that leap of faith, we all have a grind, a struggle as we're getting started, and eventually it grows into something even larger. But I think the important piece to that is you banked on yourself and you started doing things for yourself, right? Look, I share sort of that same story. I started off in IT myself. I got an applied computer science degree at Troy University. I worked in that whole corporate America verse, and I was more specific in the banking industry, but I worked that job for 6 or 7 years, and it just wasn't cutting it for me, man. I saw myself making more, and I felt limited as far as how much I could make on a yearly basis, right? So I think we sort of share that same basis as far as why we got started in our particular niches, man. So that's an incredible story.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
All right. So, Doniel, so why tax and credit, bro? Like, is there any particular reason why you went towards this particular industry outside of that notion that they're making an incredible amount of money only within 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I mean, I also looked at it as a recession-proof type of industry as well, right? Because we know we have different type of industries that you can get into it, but then something happens with the market or crashes or whatever, then you gotta shift and you gotta change and you gotta move around. Well, I'm like, what you gonna have? First of all, you're gonna have to pay taxes no matter what it is, how it is, right? So once you understand that, now you control something that can't nobody take from you. And it don't matter what condition it is, the worst condition, the best conditions, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's a recession-proof, essential business that you gotta have, right? Credit.
Right.
Everybody, man, what university? You went to college, I went to college. At what level? From undergrad, grad, master, PhD, double PhD, have they ever talked about credit? Ever.
Never.
But why is it so important to have everyday people have to focus on this, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, that we always got to be able to understand how to use it, but we ain't never had the tools to know how to use it, right? So that's what I had to understand. I had to learn is how the game play. How is the game play? Like, okay, I got these credit cards, but what is it to really use it? Everybody try to say beat the system. You can't beat the system. You can play the game, right? But if you got to have the rules to play the game, and we will never taught the rules, right? That's just playing like Monopoly. You don't even know how to play. You just roll it and just throwing it out. Whatever it lands on, that's what you get. You go to jail. You're like, well, how I get to jail? What I get out of jail? And you get pieces of it. Like, oh, somebody cheating on the board. You know what I'm saying? They moving this piece, moving that piece. Oh, you messed up. So now you back in square one again. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I see about credit. And when I understand business credit is now it doesn't affect you on a personal level where now businesses use more money, right? They use more money. They understand that they use more money. So the utilizations be higher. Right. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your score like it would on a personal side. Right. So anytime you try to apply for a personal loan, first of all, they're going to give you less because they ain't expecting you to use that much. But on a business side, they're going to automatically give you a higher limit just because that you're trying to do business. Right. And it's designed for businesses. So why not play the game? Just know the rules to play the game and do it safely. Right.
Right. And just piggyback into that you mentioned Monopoly. A lot of people just go around the board collecting the 200 without investing.
Exactly.
Or learning things towards, building credit or, stuff like that. Right. You're going to stay in that rat race if you simply stay on that route. Yep. Right. So I think it's important for us to educate ourselves. One, because we're not going to learn it in grade school. Right. Mm-hmm. I think they touch they don't even scratch the surface as far as what we need to know in grade school. So I think it's important for people like ourselves to do what we're doing, right? I'm more in the real estate niche, but yourself, I think it's you have a really powerful tool here to sort of come out here and be able to coach people regarding credit and business credit specifically. That way we can really take advantage, leveraging things that we're not taught about.
Exactly. Yep. And you know what? The biggest thing about that, too, because, the government, from a tax perspective, the government looks at the economy and say, what do I want to do? If I wanted to reduce carbon, I'm going to do an energy. So what do? If they wanted people to invest in energy, they're going to give a tax break for that. Right. So we understand what the tax break laws are. They meant for the government to do things they want to do. Like if you want people to buy, make houses, right? I'm going to get tax breaks to people to make houses. I'm going to give depreciation, rehabilitation. I'm going to give all these type of loopholes to do it without having to pay taxes on it. But if you're doing that particular thing, right? If you're doing technology, you got a research program, credits and all these other credits for technology, right? Why Amazon don't pay no money in taxes for the last 10 years? Because they, you know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? Because they set themselves up to do so because they understand the rules.
Man, that's crazy. So Amazon really hasn't. Is it sort of like Donald Trump, where he's found a way to sort of?
No, it's not. It ain't no loophole. It's true. It's just planning. That's basically what it is. It's planning and doing what people want you to do. Right? Say, okay, I want you to innovate and create more jobs. If the government says I want you to create more jobs, and you create more jobs, what's the benefit? They ain't got to pay people, right? So they can entice you and say, hey, we're gonna partner with you, so we're gonna give you tax benefits and deductions, depreciation, credits, and we're going to partner with you. So we're going to be your partner in this instead of taking all your money as an employee that's not really giving you that much value to the society and to your community.
Yeah. So is that a reason why a lot of real estate investors aren't taxed as high as most your average employee?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, they're doing what, the tax laws actually, we have politics and whatever, but politics aside, it's built to reward people that's going to empower the community. It's going to, help pay for the roads, expand the communities, or build jobs, and create housing and create different technologies to empower us all, right? The whole iPhone and the computer thing, like whoever's doing Zoom or whatever the platform, they created that so that we can do better work. Now they get credits and deductions and expenses for the type of work that they do. Right. Yeah. So if you're doing agriculture, right, they'll pay you not to even grow food. Right.
Wow.
So it's just understanding, like, basically the tax law. They say it's so complicated, but it's really simple. It's just understanding, okay, what is the law? What is it built for? What am I trying to do? And how can I do what the government wants us to do and be able to benefit the right way? And that's it.
Exactly. That's a gem right there, bro. A lot of people don't understand that ideology. I personally heard that myself from reading Robert Kiyosaki books.
Absolutely. That's where I got it from too. Yep.
Exactly. And he preaches that employees are taxed the highest, right? That active income. Those of us who actually contribute towards the society, which is, I think real estate being one of those things, where you're providing housing for people, the government is going to reward you the most.
Correct.
Right? So I think, stuff like that's important for people to hear and understand and really jump into those strategies so we can really, truly take advantage of leveraging credit and being able to reap the benefits that the government is, giving towards us. So I think that's some really big gems right there, bro. So at what point for your business, Doniel, when did you see everything start to sort of change for you? I know you said you had a bunch of woes that you were facing early on. At what point did everything switch?
Yeah, well, it actually switched, man. When I got exhausted, right? Like every year, I'm getting frustrated, exhausted because I had no systems in place. I'm answering the phone, I'm marketing, I'm hiring, I'm coaching, I'm managing all this stuff, but I had no systems in place. So it wasn't a predictable systems, right? So once I started creating a system, like my CRM systems, like my follow-up sequences, like being able to get coached and be able to get mentored by somebody that was doing what I was wanting to do and show me, bro, you're working too hard. Like, I like what you're doing, but you're working too hard, bro. You make a lot more money in a lot less time. You make a lot more money helping a specific amount of people that you want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Basically, so I just realized that the last couple of years. But before then, I got to go. That's just the grind. Like I'm gonna work my whole year in 4 months, and now I can sit down for a couple of months, right, and do nothing. But that's kind of what I do. I'm like, okay, now it's August and September. I got a little money, but I want something else to do. You know what I'm saying? So now, how can I help more people? And that's when I started learning about credit. And I said, okay, I had to fix my credit, man. I had bankruptcy. My car got repoed. I had let somebody put an apartment in their name and they didn't pay it. So I got a lot of stuff. I had to go Chapter 7. You know what I'm saying? So me getting out of that situation and then realizing, and again, just following up and learning and reading and educating myself on how this freaking thing work. Like, how does it really work? Like, what is the benefit of credit? Because I always told, pay cash for everything. Credit's bad. Well, it's bad if you misuse it, right? It's bad if you don't know how to use it properly. It's great when you can actually get rewarded for using a credit card, right? So one example I'm gonna say, right? So you got a phone bill, a cell phone bill, right? When can you pay that cell phone bill off? Well, you ain't never had to pay it again.
At any point, right?
No, you can never pay it off, right? You're going to continue to pay a cell phone bill as long as you live, as long as you're using that cell phone, right? So, but instead of paying it with a debit card or your cash or whatever, why not use a card that gives you 1% back? That's better than a savings account, right? You can get, $300. You may get 1% back off that, but you got to spend it anyway, right? Yeah. And then just pay it back when I get paid. So I tell a lot of people, a lot of my clients that I work with, hey, let's use the credit card and not the debit card because one, the credit card protects you, right? The credit card protects you, right? Any frivolous loss, anything like that, they ain't got no question. You just call it in, they gonna automatically protect you, right? They also gonna give you, essential benefits, rewards, right? You have travel rewards where you can travel. You have gift cards where you can pay for your essentials like your toiletries and things like that. You have all these different types of points and rewards and all these different hotel miles and things like that, lounges and all these things, right? You know what I'm saying? And sign-on bonuses. Like one of the greatest things that I like is a lot of these companies when they have these initial sign-on bonuses. So $300 for spending $3,000. Well, if you got your bills and you count them up, you got to pay them anyway. Why not get an extra $300 for doing something in 3 months that you got to pay for anyway?
Big fact. So if I'm understanding correctly, Doniel, you're suggesting there's way more benefit to paying off bills using credit cards that have some type of reward system in place so that you can end up making money from paying bills.
Absolutely.
Or some type of reward in place, such as skylines or air miles or groceries, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That's a gem, bro. I haven't even thought about that because I pay all of my bills obviously through I have an auto thing set up where it just comes out of my accounts.
Right.
But I also have cashback cards, credit cards where I have a lot of money on there just sitting. It sort of just makes sense to have the auto pay set up through the credit cards.
The credit cards.
And get rewarded for utilizing credit.
Exactly. Right. So here's simple stuff, right? Just simple stuff. I ain't really telling people to go outrageous and stuff like that. I just say simple stuff. What bills you pay? You pay your light bill, right? You create that on auto pay. You pay your phone bill. You pay your cable internet services. You pay, just your gas, your fuel miles. Sometimes you get double points for fuel. You got to fill up anyway. Well, why not use a card and see how I tell people to do it? Is say for instance, you got $300, right? Just $300 credit card limit or whatever. And you got, your bills, your light bill, phone bill, and maybe internet is $300, right? You got to pay it anyway. I pay it with a card. I get my cash back on that. And it only reports once a month. So after that reports once a month, I go back when I get paid, not wait 30 days. When I get paid, pay that $300. And now I just reloaded that card back, right? I reloaded the card back. So now $300 ain't gone. What happened to it? I just transferred from my account back to the card. Now the card reloaded $300 again. And then whatever I had to pay for that next pay period, I paid with that same $300. So I really paid the card off and paid another bill with the same $300.
That's wild. That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? And then now, every time I pay that $300, I'm getting more points. And then 6 months now, what they're going to do? They're going to jump my limit up to $1,000. They're going to jump my limit up to $2,000. Now they're going to jump my limit up to $4,000 and $5,000. You know what I'm saying? And now or they're going to say, okay, well, this card only stops at $1,000. Here's another card that we're going to give you $700 for. You know what I'm saying? And now I'll take all my stuff over there and put it on this card. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And get that stuff. And then they'll say, hey, wow. What about the 0% interest? What about 0% interest cards, right? Well, how about using somebody else's money when you ain't got to pay for it?
Yeah, true. I love OPM.
Mm-hmm.
And OPM being other people's money. Man, Doniel, I think you just unloaded about 2 to 3 years worth of 2 to 3 years worth of gems and information there, bro. I mean, a lot of that stuff, I don't even know why I'm not using this process myself. I feel kind of sick. For not being able to do that because I have so many credit options right now currently.
Right.
And the fact that I'm not utilizing this process, this sort of questions my processes myself. So I'm going to go back and speak with my wife and sort of discuss our finances so we can sort of utilize this process, these steps ourselves as well, man. So just to piggyback on what you were mentioning earlier, man, because I know I have a big issue with systems in place. I recently hired VAs and I sort of, as I was training them, it hit me, it dawned on me, man, I don't really have any systems in place, man. Right? So for those of us who, we're brand new business owners, what would you suggest as far as creating those systems, getting systems in place? Are you suggesting find mentors? Are there any coaches or people we can reach out to sort of help alleviate that issue?
Yeah, I mean, for as far as system, basically, it's more so as document what you do on a daily basis, right? Record everything. That's what I kind of learned because again, you can say something to some people, especially if they're overseas. Like I have people in the Philippines as well, and I can tell them to create an email and or I say, for instance, hey, I need all the names and email addresses for all the real estate professionals in Atlanta, right? Well, they'll go online and put a bunch of mortgage companies because it say real estate, right? Instead of you saying them like, listen, go here, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll put you say Georgia or Atlanta, that go down to Columbus or 3 hours, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't say specifics, right? So it's just basically just documenting what you do, record it, and have them translate it. So for instance, I will create a video like I'm creating with you, and then have them write out everything that I said and put it in a SOP.
Okay.
Now,
and what is the SOP?
SOP means standard operating procedures. So that's the SOP. So our standard operating procedure for taking a phone call, right? Our standard operating procedures for onboarding a client. What's our standard operating procedure for collecting payment, right? What's the first 3 steps of how to do that? And once you understand that for yourself, now you can put it in a video. This is how we do this. Put it in a 5-minute little video. Say, I need you to transcribe this, write it out, and then we're gonna put it in the SOP. So now you have each process with the video that you've done, and have them redo it. And now you gotta build it as you go like that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You gotta build it you just got to build it like that, man. You can't, how you eat an elephant, man, one bite at a time, not the whole thing.
Yeah, that's big fact, man. Great information. Yeah. Again, I didn't even know what an SOP is. So definitely, I want to start utilizing some of these tips because, again, me myself personally, I'm starting to slowly create systems in place. We've only been in business for about 3 years. Gotcha. We've only just started to become as successful within the second year. Gotcha. So I think it's really important for us to have a conversation like this so we can sort of piece everything together.
Absolutely. Right? And also, create a CRM, you know what I mean? Like a client management software where you can collect the leads and you collect all these things and you can follow up with people and segment stuff. So if you want to send an email to your list, you can just blast it to one email instead of emailing everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can create an email campaign and say, hey, we're going to do a 7-day campaign and say, hey, just if we try to, do a seller or a buyer or a mortgage company or a lender, we just send them a sequence of emails, and now that campaign is going to resonate with them over a couple of days. You do set it up one time, and now it's done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's kind of how you can start relieve some of the stuff you already doing. Like people send you an email. Oh man, I got to take an email. Oh man, I got to make a phone call. Oh man, I got to follow up with this person instead of putting them on a campaign. And if they call, here's what happens. Here's who called. Here's how to follow up. They get an email, a text message, and for the next 3 or 4 days. And if they didn't buy, then you kind of build that stuff out. But it's just little by little of going through that process. Again, I had to learn that the hard way because I was just like, and I'm still struggling with it sometimes myself now, just because I know what I want to do and I know how to do it. But me trying to get all this stuff out of my head and on paper is just a little hard because by the time I done thought about one thing and trying to write it, I done thought about something else. So
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I definitely can attest to that, bro. I'm very forgetful. That's another reason why I got a couple assistants. I can't remember everything. Us being entrepreneurs, there's a ton of hats we're wearing. And I just think it's beneficial to have systems in place just so people can start helping you out. As soon as you start doing that, you start scaling. Yep. You're able to be more creative and start being able to work more towards your particular business. So
absolutely
appreciate that information, bro. That's another huge gem, man. So Doniel, man, one more gem I know you already gave a tremendous amount of information to us, our viewers today already. But for those of us who are looking to build business credit, man, what are about 3 tips you would share with these people to get started building business credit, man?
Yeah. So first of all, you want to make sure your business is structured as a business, right? So what people look at when you're actually talking about business, first you got to get your personal stuff together. That's number one, right? You at least have a 680 or above credit score because you can actually piggyback that and then start getting business funding from that. Because again, I don't care who you talk to, only people that's not going to give you personal guarantors are those vendor lines of credit people where, like the Quills and the U-lines and things like that, where, you just buy
like
something from them. Yeah, but, if you're trying to get funding or business credit card, they always going to pull that personal, right? They're going to pull it. It may not be it's not me not going to report on it, but they're going to pull it, right? And if you default, then they may ding you for those things there. But make sure you get you look at your personal credit because again, our statistics say 80%. What's on your credit report is inaccurate anyway. So you got grounds there to dispute items that you don't know, whether it's the spelling of your name or you don't even got your birthday right, you got an old address, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's first thing, making sure that half right, and then once you got that right, making sure your business is properly set up. You know what I mean? Making sure that, you're registered with 411, right? You're registered with 411 because, again, they're going to look at that and say, hey, am I registered with 411 or is that a real legitimate business? Make sure you have your Google My Business listing verified, right? That's another thing that you can have. And also the biggest thing that I say is change your email address and have either a .com or .net. So if you look at somebody's email address, if I send an email address to you and my stuff is at Gmail, at Yahoo, are you going to really take me that serious or are you going to have that much trust compared to what I have, the info at refundtaxsolution.com? See what I'm saying? That it's still a Gmail account, but it's a $7 account. So that's some of the things that we kind of help when our clients. I kind of get them to go on and try to get that stuff straight away, especially if they're trying to go into the whole business funding perspective, that's a whole nother thing. You make sure you want that structured on the front end because when you go into your Secretary of State, when you have your stuff out there, when you have a bank account that you're creating, all those things got to be lined up, right? Yeah. And then if you're using your home as a business, I recommend getting a virtual address, right? And the reason why I get the virtual address and not a UPS box or FedEx box or post office box, an actual virtual address. They have a lot of those things online. You can Google virtual addresses and get you a virtual mailbox and have it forwarded to your house. Two reasons why that, because when you start putting stuff out there, your personal information out there to businesses, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see your address, right? So if your name is Howard Trucking LLC, and your address at the house, I can pull up your address and go and find you at your house, and you don't want that.
You don't want that, right? Wow. Okay.
So you want to be able to separate that stuff from the house, and now you look a lot more easier and things like that to the businesses. When it actually talking about funding, especially when you're trying to go to a bank, like, any banking system that you're going to go, they're going to pull your personal, make sure you're good on that. And then they're going to actually, say, okay, how long you been in business, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to lend, based on that.
Okay. Hey, those are some really huge topics. A lot of those, I am still working on currently myself, such as the virtual address. You can definitely find your information online. So that's huge. Huge information you just gave there, Doniel. I appreciate that, brother. So we're going to wrap up here a little bit, man. Before we do so, Doniel, man, explain a little bit more about your business, man. And do you currently have any offers that you want your viewers to look into?
Absolutely, man. So what we got going on, I just dropped today, is a financial literacy mastery course. This is a 6-week live training like we're doing now. We're going to be on Zoom call. We're going to be live, and we are actually going to go through and kind of get people's credits cleaned up to be able to get them in a position to get funding. And I'm going to show you how to get yourself funding. I'm going to show you what credit cards to go through. I'm going to show you the whole process from A to Z in the next 6 weeks. So now by the time you start with me and by the time you end with me, you'll know exactly how to go get funding for yourself. And then I have another another program that's coming up called the CEO Accelerator Academy. And what Accelerator Academy is doing things when now you got the credit cards, what to do with them, right? How to get how to do how to hide your utilization so you can get the bonuses kind of quickly, right? So if you spend in the $7,000, I show you how to manufacture spend that while you're really not spending the money, but you get the reward points for that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I show you things like Turo, how to start a Turo business and get funded with the credit card, how to start or how to get bank funding at no doc loans, things like that. So that's a higher level service that we offer in there. And like I said, a lot of that stuff will be on my website at DonielLovely.com. And then you can get me on Instagram at Doniel Lovely, Facebook at Doniel Fitzgerald. And like I said, I'm super excited just to be able to share some information that I've learned. And I paid thousands and thousands of dollars to learn this stuff and trying to, been playing around with it. And now I'm able to put it all in the system. But, I have a consultation as well if people want to, do like tax planning, tax strategies. That's on my site as well. You can, book a strategy session with me. And if we're a good fit, then we can actually show you how we can go ahead and work together. And that way we can actually get your tax planning for your business organization structure set up, and being able to get your structure right. Say you some plans for taxes, seeing like what strategy is going to save me the least amount of money on taxes, and actually do what the government wants you to do, right?
Right, exactly, man.
And that's leveraging that stuff, man. So basically what I'm doing, man, is leveraging credit into cash and also using the tax law to reduce the tax liability. So keep more money in your pocket, keep it circulating through your own ecosystem, and actually, having you financially literate.
Okay. That's dope, man. I'm actually going to look into one of those courses, those programs. I think financial literacy is huge today. And I think it's the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself and your business in order to continue to scale and grow. So, Doniel, bro, I appreciate your time today, brother. Again, you already gave your socials. Again, you can find them on IG at Doniel Lovely. Also, what was your website again, brother?
DonielLovely.com. DonielLovely. DonielLovely. Yes, DonielLovely.com. Yep.
All right, brother. Well, listen, man, I appreciate your time today. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate everyone listening in. Tune in next week for our next financial conversation. Until then, guys, see you next time.